Hey babe, how do you invest in the stock market?
How do I invest in the stock market?
Yeah.
I don't know how I can answer that specifically because there's many different, there's like uh, so many different systems people use, from the, super successful billion-dollar traders to just everyday people. Everyone comes up with their own system. So there isn't like a panacea. There isn't just like, this is the best way you do it. Everyone has their own system, right? So I think what's important for people to understand is like there are some basic guiding principles that you need to follow when you invest in the stock market. Like at least I have it. That's applicable across the board, right? So I think one of the most important things that the average, investor that isn't sophisticated doesn't understand is one of the key number one rules I follow when I invest is how not to lose your money. It's not about making money. It's about not losing your capital. That's the most important thing, right? I have one rule that I learned when I was, fresh out of undergrad, and when I was in investment banking back in the day, and I learned this from my mentor, and for all these years, it stuck with me. Like he told me at the very start of my career, cut your losses and take your profits. I'll admit that over the course of all these years, I don't always listen to that, but that is the most important rule, right? So I think when people want to invest or trade, whatever, to me, it's interchangeable, the term. Invest, trade. Some people say it's different, but to me, it's like when you buy equities, like first of all, I only invest in equities. I invest in treasuries and stuff, but I don't trade treasuries. I trade equities, buy and sell to make money. Treasuries, fixed income is what they call them. ETFs, mutual funds are usually, it's not something I do a lot of because I'm more of like a stock picker, number one. Number two, I don't like to do shorts. If I want to bet on something going bearish, meaning downwards, I usually use what we call leveraged ETFs. I'll get into that sometime. It's kind of complicated. You can buy ETFs that are leveraged that are bearish, that are on the downside. Or I would use put options. I do trade options a lot, but primarily in just equities, meaning stocks, right? I don't do futures. I don't do Forex. I don't do anything outside of equities. I rarely do. So to me, the rules in equities is whenever you buy a stock, right? You need to know when you purchase the stock, like immediately after you purchase, what's your max loss. Now people have different formulas for that. They calculate it differently. But that's the most important concept. Each individual investor has to come up with how much are they willing to lose. You need to know that. You need to have a tolerance level. So if the stock you buy, which is what we call going long, you buy it, and it drops by a certain percentage and you're out. That's the discipline. You got to get out. You got to cut your losses, right? And on the flip side, when the stock starts making money, you also should come up with the rule as to when you start taking profits. Because it's happened to me many times where my position's going really, really well, and then I'm like, it's going to keep going, and then when I look back, I should have taken money off the table. So, know how much you can lose. Make sure you try not to lose more than that. And once your position is coming through and it's bullish, it's going up, know when to get out. You have to come up with your own rules for that, but these are my basic rules. As far as how you pick stock picking, you have to do your homework, I believe. Another one important thing for me is never your uncle says, oh, buy the stock, it's a great idea. People ask me that all the time, and I think it's ridiculous. You got to do your homework. You got to pick your own stocks. And when I say homework, there's basically two basic things that you do. There's fundamentals on stock picking, and then there's technicals. The fundamentals is you have to study the company. Is it a good company to buy, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Like I bought Apple. I started buying Apple like 8 years ago because I studied the company and I figured, after BlackBerry this is the new way, right? And Apple has a whole ecosystem now. You know, it started with the iPods, and then it was the iPhones, and now it's this ridiculous thing, right? So that's an example. You have to do your homework. That's fundamentals. The other thing is technicals. Technicals has really got nothing to do with the company. It's got to do with timing, and it's what they call price action. But that's a little complicated. I don't want to get in too much into that. So yeah, that's the basic thing. Do your homework. Know how much you're going to be willing to lose, and make sure you have a threshold of how much profits you're willing to take off the table if your investment or your trade starts making money. Those are the key things. There are other things like I can go for hours on this, but like other things like I pick up that you know, macro really high level thing is know which way the market's going. You know, like you can find the greatest company in the world, but if the market we're in a bear market, what's the point, right? And the other thing for me that I look at is know your sectors. You know, you want to go. You want if you want to invest in a stock, make sure you understand what sector it's in. Like right now, would you want to invest in bank stocks? Fuck no. That sector is taking beating right now. Where would you want to invest in? AI? It's the hot buzz. That sector is doing really well, right? So know what parts of the market, you know, and it's like sectors are like waves, you know. If it's moving upwards, you want to ride that wave. You can make a great pick on a stock that's bearish, that the whole sector is not doing well. Like energy used to be good like about a month and a half ago. Now, don't go near energy. No matter how good your pick is, you know, even Warren Buffett's Occidental Petroleum is not doing very well right now. You know, so, yeah.
Okay. And is there a way that you would apply those rules to what's going on in the market today?